Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Charlene, have you got an apology for Gabriel Jesus?
Oh, don't say it like that, James.
No,
it
I'm
wasn't
sorry.
that bad.
I know it wasn't.
Do you know, it was just us doing our analysis on the players, and my preference was that I prefer Kai Havertz over Jesus. However, this week, Jesus has really showed us a completely different side to him in recent performances. He's really stepped up to the mark and he's been clinical. 5 goals in 1 week is absolutely phenomenal. So I do apologise for, my opinion, which wasn't offensive at all. It was just saying,
don't apologise.
what my preference was. But, credit to Jesus. I think he's done fantastic this week and I'm really genuinely happy for him.
Look, I probably need to apologise myself. I definitely got to a point where I thought I had it's so long since I'd seen a level from Jesus where I thought, in a time of need where Arsenal's struggling, he's going to be the guy we turn to. It's just been so long. And you just used the word, clinical. That is not a word we've used for Gabby Jesus. And credit to him. What a shift this week. Because that Carabao Cup quarter-final, it can't be brushed off as just, okay, we did it in the Cup, now he's done it in the league. That was important. That was against this Premier League opposition who've been in good form. We really needed to get those wins, book ourselves a place in the semi-final, cut the gap even temporarily to Liverpool, and just try and get a really positive week together.
Absolutely. And we always talk about our big players stepping up, when they're needed. And that's exactly what Gabriel Jesus done in that Carabao Cup game to get us a place in the semi-final. And we all know, the calibre of player Jesus was prior to his injury. I'm not disputing that or disregarding that in any way. My comments were just more that, yes, he was a great player, but based on what we've been seeing recently, it looks like, he's been, very much different. So, it was great that he was able to regain that confidence and those finishes and really, step up to the mark when we've needed him the most.
I completely agree. Arsenal were fun today, weren't they? You know what I mean? They were just enjoyable to watch. I don't think the football was always scintillating and brilliant. I actually don't think we've got our second or third gear, but there was something about Arsenal that felt like there was more impetus to attack. There was more focus on that. Weirdly, it felt like the defence almost had to kind of just be left to deal with it. And I think they struggled at times. But Arsenal, certainly more enjoyable. But that has been a big criticism since a week ago where, the Everton game was a real struggle. We can't say the same for today.
Absolutely not. And I think the scoreline definitely reflects that. I mean, it was quite a weird game as we have been describing because, normally our defence is solid, Today we saw that we was a bit leaky in defence, Last week we wasn't able to score a goal. This week we score 5. Yeah. I mean, we are just an unpredictable side. And this is why people say Arsenal fans are delusional, because they play with high emotions. They could get you on a massive high, a massive low. There's just no, mental stability with this team.
Well, there's something about, you look at, we challenged for the title 2 years ago. We challenged for the title last year. And then we've added players to it, and then we win a game like this 5-1, and you think, well, there's got to be a good team in there. Absolutely. And Arsenal, they've shown that, and they've shown that actually with West Ham and Sporting, there's clearly a very good team in Arsenal, but it's consistency now. And when you get players like Saka going off injured, it's such a shame. We hope he's okay. That doesn't help the consistency. But a big thing is that this Arsenal team, I think, almost need to believe it a little bit more, that they can put a run together. I know they did it last season, but go get those wins under your belt now and see what happens with Liverpool and other teams, Chelsea, everyone around us.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously with Bukayo Saka, going off injured, I don't want the team to sort of lose that faith and that belief because, to be fair, Saka went off in the 20th minute. We still had...
that early.
It was very early on in the game. So we still had the remaining 70 minutes. I can't remember what the scoreline was at that point. We had definitely scored at least a goal or two. But we was able to get 5 goals, without Bukayo Saka playing. So it's important that the team still have that belief because in that game last week against Everton, I didn't see that belief and that passion, like what we have been seeing in prior games.
And that energy.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas the energy today was completely different. So the energy we had today is what we need to keep building on, to get that momentum and to get that consistency, which we have shown previously in previous seasons. So it'd be good if the team can just keep that up. And another thing as well, it was a good team effort as well because, when you was asking for man of the match, I sat there thinking, this is a very difficult question and I honestly don't know who to pick, because David Raya, he made some great crucial saves. Gabriel Jesus scoring 2 goals today on the back end of getting a hat-trick a few days ago. Lewis Skelly,
Yeah, very
who
good.
started the game, he's so young and he played with so much confidence and brilliance. So Declan Rice coming off the bench, you know, from his
Yeah,
injury.
he did really well off the
and
bench, didn't he? Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
and impacting the game straight away as soon
Yeah.
as he came off the bench. So there was a few shouts there for man of the match, which is good. It's a good, you know,
It's a very
thing
good
to
problem.
have.
It means you played well when there's that many players. Let me ask you one final thing. Sky Sports have a graphic showing that Arsenal under Arteta spent 729 million. Are they going to, in your opinion, need to spend a little bit more in January to try and, you know, I know Jesus got the goals, but do you think Arsenal need to? Has this performance from Jesus changed your mind anyway about that?
No, do you know, when I look at the season overall, not just this season, but maybe the past 2 seasons as well, you know, so 3 seasons, there hasn't been, like you mentioned, consistency, you know, with our strikers. So that's Jesus as well as Havertz, being able to be clinical and score goals when we've really needed them to.
Yeah.
We've been crying out for a striker for so long. So the fact that, okay, yes, Jesus is scoring goals, I don't just want to brush that under the carpet and say, yep, Jesus is doing it now, we don't need a striker. The reality is, yes, we still do need a striker. Credit to the team and everything they're doing, Jesus with his performance this week, but we still do need a striker.
Fair enough. There we go. Arsenal, don't ignore the work that needs to be done in Jan, says Charlene, and I agree. Thank you, Charlene.
Thank you, James.